Hello, everyone. And gosh, I just want to start by saying thank you. A huge, huge thank you to Carrie and Ayla for offering your souls in this way, for offering your gifts in this way, for letting music plant trees, for letting trees into your soul, for bringing music and trees together in a way that includes and invites everyone to recognize that there would be no music without the breath of the trees. There'd be very little music without trees at all, in fact. Human beings wouldn't exist without trees. And you're bringing that fundamental love affair into all our awareness, and you're doing it through the gifts of your own souls. And for that, we are so extraordinarily grateful. And I want to share a couple of things and then tell you a little bit about the trees that you'll be planting if you are deciding to do that with us. A while ago, in a conversation with a beech tree, actually, in the UK, I'm sitting here in California, this tree said to me, "Every tree has its own note. Every forest is a symphony. When you take our bodies and you use them to build and construct, that note still sings," which kind of left me going, wow, that chest of drawers is still singing to me. You know, where are the ears in my body that I need to open in order to be able to hear them? I asked what the trees needed, and they said, "Sing to us." We love to be sung to because, of course, they are a song. And so when you sing to a tree, you help that tree move into relationship with you and you help it to heal. And they said especially that they liked Tibetan chants in the mornings and they liked lullabies at night, which I thought was completely glorious. Of course, we cannot live without our trees. They aren't just beautiful, graceful, generous beings. They are also carbon made visible at a time when we have too much carbon in the atmosphere. They are also rainmakers. They are climate coolers. They are biodiversity homes. They are soil creators. They are filterers of our air. They are the most fundamental beings in this world that were here so much longer than we've been here. Trees were here, providing oxygen when life on this planet really started to diversify massively. So, when you are planting with Tree Sisters, you are planting with a very diverse group of projects from Brazil all the way across Africa into India, Nepal, and down into West Papua. And you're planting forest corridors for pumas and jaguars and ocelots, which are small cats, and endangered monkeys, even endangered trees. You're supporting the Ashaninka tribe in the Amazon, who are facing, like so many other tribes, just extraordinary difficulties in the face of encroachment and poaching and deforestation and mining. You are planting around the last 250 cross river gorillas in Cameroon. You are doing watershed management in Kenya. You are planting mangroves, which sequester between 3 and 12 times as much carbon as ordinary, if there is such a thing as an ordinary tropical tree, whilst cleansing the oceans and providing the nursery habitat for fish stocks, which are dwindling. And you're planting mangroves in Madagascar and Mozambique and West Papua. And you're restoring jungle in Nepal and doing agroforestry in southern India. This is a hugely diverse group of projects with really strong social stories. Whenever you donate to Tree Sisters, your money is spread between all of them. So your fingertips are on the restoration of all those different ecosystems. And all those different species, in Madagascar, the lemurs, the last 6 remaining species of lemurs, so many species already gone. We're planting around them so that we can patch their habitat back together again. Endangered elephants in Nepal and rhino and sloth. There are so many different species, the fish eagle of Madagascar. So this is what you get to do. You get to contribute to weaving our world back together. And that's the dream of Tree Sisters. Our dream is that we normalize reciprocity with the one who gives us everything. We make it as normal to give back to the natural world as it currently is for us to consume. And that for me feels like the great privilege of this age that we're living in, this age of awakening, which I'm hoping moves us into the age of restoration. And every single one of us here has a part to play in that move. Every single one of us has the opportunity to open our eyes to the miracle of this world that we've been taught to take for granted. And stop taking it for granted. Realize that we're indivisible, not superior to, and that there is a depth of relationship possible to us that is a redefinition of intimacy and a redefinition of what it means to be human. The age of restoration, what does that even look like? It looks like there is no more mindless waste of our planet. It looks like every single one of us is engaged in the restoration of some ecosystem or multiple ecosystems. You know, when you are restoring forests, you're restoring rain, you're restoring watersheds, you're restoring soil, you're restoring biodiversity, and you're serving the oceans. But we also need to restore the oceans and the soils and the grasslands. And if we lose our tropical forests, we've lost our ice. And if we lost our ice and our tropical forests, there is no cooling mechanism in a warming world. So this is up to each of us. And Carrie and Ayla are doing this thing that is my dream. They are taking the gifts that are the expression of their souls and they're turning them into trees. They're bringing more of themselves, which each one of us can do. How do we take the gifts that bring us more into who we really are, and out of that generate awareness raising, community, collective experience that is strengthening, the support that we all need right now in the face of COVID, and actual measurable ecological restoration. Inside of Tree Sisters, we call those soul trees. Soul trees are the trees that are grown through the gifts of our own souls. And any one of you can embed trees into your self-employed work or your small businesses or your artwork or your books, your poetry. Any way that you bring your gifts, you can bring more trees into the world. And the forest will thank you deeply for it. So I am just sharing my huge gratitude. I'm sharing the dream of, can you imagine if every single person listening here were to give back? Can you imagine if it was normal for each of us to give back? Can you imagine if there's a future in which every gathering, every concert, every festival, every sporting event had trees embedded in tickets so that we couldn't even gather without growing a forest? That's the world I want, where we cannot consume without trees being embedded inside of everything. That we no longer even expect to spend without part of that going back directly into the earth to provide the air that we breathe and to provide all these incredible other beings that we love, the birds and the beasts and the critters, the habitat that they need, that they rely on, and that we rely on to help them survive and thrive. There is a future up ahead if we choose it, if we create it, the age of restoration, that is an expression of a humanity in profound reciprocity with the natural world, where we've woken up to our roles as restorers and stewards of life. And we live in a state of reverence to it, not competition and money-making, which is where we are now, but the understanding that true abundance comes through our ecology and through our love of each other. Our love of each other, the restoration of relationship with ourselves as part of nature, each other, and the natural world. So if you would like to give to Tree Sisters, our trees literally cost 40 pence or 50 cents, and they are that cheap because we plant in some of the poorest places on the face of this earth, who are also at the coalface of climate change. And that 40p or 50 cents covers the cost of the growing of the trees. You know, it costs the costs of the seed and the growing and the nursery costs and the sapling protection and growing, and then the transport to planting areas and the planting and the replanting if the first tree dies from drought or flood or fire or being eaten by goats or crabs in the case of mangroves. And it covers the monitoring and the reporting and the protection. So these are trees that will change lives and transform lands. And in doing so, in ensuring that you are connected to them, then hopefully they will change your life and transform your heart into one that just wants to do more and grow more and tend more and restore more. And I'm just saying thank you so, so much to all of you that are listening, to all of you hopefully that give to help Ayla and Carrie reach their goal that they want to achieve. And Ayla and Carrie, for your gifts, for your music, for your souls, for living the lives that you're living. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so, so much.